Just about all of us in education have had the unfortunate experience of attending PD sessions that weren't engaging and didn't have much, if any, long-term impact on our professional growth and expertise. And they certainly didn't change our long-term practices. Too often, these kinds of PD sessions don't provide opportunities for us as educators to actively discuss, practice, and reflect on the new knowledge, skills, and strategies that we're learning. But then we have these great moments when PD becomes professional learning, when we're learning together with our peers, talking and reflecting on with one another, and really making connections to what's happening in our classrooms and in our school context. So, what is it about this type of professional learning that really resonates? What are the keys to effective professional learning that makes it really engaging and makes a lasting difference in our professional skills and practice? And importantly, makes a lasting difference for our students. This is such an important question because as participants in professional learning, we want our time to be spent in meaningful ways, and we want professional learning to be meaningful to our actual classroom and school context and support our professional growth and expertise. And if you're a school or district leader, you want to make sure that your investment in professional learning is producing real results. So, to develop a model for designing effective and engaging professional learning, my colleagues and I looked at best practices for adult learning, the year's worth of research on effective professional learning, and what we know from cognitive science about how people learn, how our brains naturally learn and apply new information. We combined all of this information into a six-phase model for effective professional learning. And if you're familiar with our model for student learning, you'll see that these six phases are exactly the same. Because after all, the way our brains process information, whether we're an adult or whether we're a student learner, it's essentially the same for all ages. So let's take a brief look at each of these phases.
To learn anything, we first have to become interested. Great professional learning starts by connecting the content to teachers' authentic contexts and needs. You can do this by identifying problems of practice ahead of time, perhaps with a survey or classroom observations and conversations with teachers, and then making sure you design your session content to address your team's common needs and goals. Call out those direct connections at the beginning of the professional learning session so that teachers understand the relevancy of the content to their own skills and practices. Next, there should be an opportunity near the beginning of the professional learning session for teachers to connect the overall session goals to their personal specific situations and the changes they want to see in their classrooms. For example, instead of a goal to learn new strategies for teaching math, a teacher could make it more specific with a goal like, I want to learn and plan for using new strategies to support my tier 2 groups in deconstructing and solving word problems. Once participants have set their personal learning goals, involve them in thinking about how they might be able to track their progress using the new ideas in their classrooms.
During phase 3, we can now focus on introducing the new learning by providing direct instruction of the content while modeling the strategies and best practices being presented. It's very helpful to share multiple teaching strategies in action, using specific examples that connect with the grade levels or subjects the participants teach. This is a crucial step because it provides teachers with the chance to understand not just what to do, but also when, why, and how to do it. The science of learning and memory tell us how important it is to pause new learning from time to time. This gives our brains a chance to reflect on what we've just taken in so that we can make connections between new learning and what we've experienced in the past. At regular intervals during a learning session, make sure to provide opportunities for participants to do some structured group activities and individual reflection. This will allow for the time and space participants need to make sense of their new learning and connect the information or ideas to prior learning and experience. Think of phases 3 and 4 as a cycle in which participants learn new information and have time to make sense of what they've learned before moving on.
Phases 1 through 4 took us through the planning and facilitation of the professional learning session. But for effective learning to occur, we can't end there. For new learning to stick around and result in lasting changes, we need time to use the new practices in our classrooms and be supported by ongoing job-embedded coaching and reflection activities. That's what Phase 5 is all about. After the session, encourage participants to commit to trying out the new strategy in their classroom, inviting coaches or colleagues to observe and provide feedback, and reflecting on the changes they see. Ongoing feedback from coaches is crucial during this period. Lastly, encourage participants to form or leverage professional learning communities at their schools to continue their learning and reflection. One way to do this is through a peer triad model, where teachers observe one another's classrooms and engage in peer coaching sessions about a specific classroom practice they want to try using or improve upon. In the triad model, one teacher serves as the observer coach, and the second teacher acts as the facilitator of the post-observation coaching conversation. The third teacher, the one whose classroom was observed, receives feedback from the observer coach about the specific classroom practice the teacher was using. Rotate these roles on a regular basis so that every teacher in the triad participates in all three roles. Through it all, a helpful phrase to keep in mind is precision without prescription. This means that our goal is not that everyone follows a specific program or script when teaching the new practices they learned from the professional learning session, but instead, our goal is to elevate our professional expertise and have the ability and knowledge to adapt and deliver the new practices in a way that best fits our own classroom context and student needs.
Educators can get so much more from their professional learning when professional learning facilitators thoughtfully craft the sessions and supports to provide rich, relevant, and engaging learning experiences. If you want to learn more about how to design effective professional learning, you can get a copy of our white paper from our website. The paper describes each phase of the professional learning model and provides more examples and insights. Another great resource is the book Pursuing Greatness, which details a learning and reflection cycle that teachers can use to empower their own professional growth. We'd also be happy to talk with you directly about how McREL might support your school's professional learning structures, designs, and goals.